Hello everyone, hello Taekwondo family practitioners, instructors, enthusiasts from all around the world. I welcome in particular all of our ITF officials, grandmasters, masters and instructors. My name is Daniel Schmidt and I'm your moderator for this session. Today is a truly historic day, April 11, 2025, marking 70 years of Taekwondo. Whether you're joining us from Asia, Europe, the Americas, Africa or Oceania, we are honored to have you here for this 24-hour global online celebration. Taekwondo is more than just a martial art to us, right? It is a philosophy, a way of life, and a force that unites people across cultures, languages, and generations. From the moment General Choi Hong-hee founded Taekwondo in 1955, it has spread to every corner of the world, empowering millions through discipline, perseverance, and indomitable spirit. And today, as we celebrate over 7 decades of our beloved martial art, it is no coincidence that this event lasts 24 hours. Just like the 24 patterns of Taekwondo, each representing the 24 hours of a day, symbolizing the entirety of a life dedicated to self-empowerment, learning, and perseverance. Within the 24 hours of our online celebration event, you will experience insightful discussions, live training sessions, and stories from Taekwondo legends, all that you have heard in the past 4 sessions. Our esteemed speakers will explore the rich history of our art and the exciting future that lies ahead. Whether you are here to learn, connect, or simply be inspired, this event is for you. So, without further ado, let's get started. In this 6th session, we celebrate the 6th pattern, which is Chungun. As mentioned, this pattern, it was Chungun, 6th pattern, was performed by Mira Sjöwall from Finland. It is the pattern of this hour in our 24-hour global celebration. And just as each pattern holds deep meaning and symbolism, each session today brings new insights into the past, present, and future of Taekwondo. And today, and now in this session, we have something very special. We have a twofold session. The first part will be The first part will be a pattern discussion, or it's about the history of pattern in general. It will be an interview that we did remotely in the last days with the chair of the ITF Technical and Instruction Committee, with Grandmaster Marano. The second part of the session then will be another interview of 2 chairs of ITF standing committees. Okay, without further ado, let's just start the interview with Grandmaster Marano. Enjoy. If you have questions, just ask them in the chat and we will forward it to Grandmaster Marano. Okay, let's start.
Hello ITF, happy Taekwondo birthday. Regarding to Gunam Tul, Gunam Tul is a pseudonym of President Syngman Rhee. He was the first South Korea president between 1948 to 1960. The history told us that General Choi invited him to his 5th Division in the 29th Infantry Army. And when the President Rhee saw the exhibition, he was very exciting, and right away he said, "Oh, Taekyon, we have to call Taekyon." Of course, General Choi didn't like the answer because it was not his idea. But the exhibition was very good, and the president was very happy. Then, with a close friend with the president, General Choi visit the President Ri again and explain his idea about the new martial art and not the old one, and should be the name Taekwon and not Taekyon, with some explanation. And after listening to the explanation, the president said, "Okay, I agree. The name of our martial art would be Taekwon." And of course, General Choi left very happy and create a pattern to honor him. The situation was in 1960 was the President Ri was expelled due to some corruption issue, and General Choi at this moment decided to not include in his pattern. Of course, he included in the 1959 book that General Choi was the first book that General Choi wrote. But this book was written in old Korean alphabet, in Hanja. So very few people can read this book. That's why we call the unknown pattern. Lucky, Grandmaster Sika Choi, one of the best grandmasters that ITF had, with one teacher, decided to perform the pattern, to translate the pattern in Hanja, and then to perform with very small adjustment, just to put some sine wave, the sine wave we had in this moment, and just adjust to finalize in the same position. And from there, of course, many people start to know about the Gunam. This is a very short story about Gunam Tool. Thank you. Yes, there are two parts of the history. One when he went to Malaysia, and the other one between 1955 to 1961. In the first part, yes, he created several patterns. The first two was Warang or Anchumu in 1955 with the assistance of Grandmaster Nantai He. After that, he created Gunam Tool in honor to the President Simon Reed. Then in about 1958, born Ulji with the assistance of Grandmaster Han Cha-kyo, and Samil with the assistance of Park Won-ha. In 1959, he decided to quit his military career and dedicate more time to Taekwondo. He started to went abroad with a team led by Grandmaster Nantai He to do exhibition in Vietnam. It was the first country that General Choi incorporated Taekwondo. In 1961, General Choi created Quebec with the assistance of Sika Choi. In that moment, the military Park He did a military coup against Sigmund Rhee and became president of Korea, the second president of the Korea. Maybe Grandmaster Vitali can tell more about the history much better than me, because some people say that he was a dictator, and some people say that Korea evolved in the economy a lot. I refer only to the pattern, but I know that General He was junior of General Choi, and was different between both of them. That's why he sent out of the country as ambassador in Malaysia. General Choi was not happy, according what he told us, because he don't know too much about how to be ambassador in another country, because his career was military. So he used the embassy of Korea to develop Taekwondo. He brings some instructors like Kim Bong-man, Won Lee, to help him to develop pattern. And during 1962 to 1964, 15 pattern was created in Malaysia. I have some video and photo that we took in Malaysia in a parking lot. That was the place that was the embassy of Korea in that moment. I remember we performed the Taekwon-Do Tuls there in honor to General Choi, as show the creation of 15 pattern. Then he back to Korea, and in about 1967 and 68, he created 4 more patterns, like Guyan, Yonghae, Mumu, and Sosang, with the assistance of several instructors, among them Grandmaster Samin Chong, that was the father of Taekwondo in Brazil. And of course, in 1980, he created Shuche to replace Kodan, but this is another story. The main difference that you can see in the idea of General Choi when he started to create the pattern in Malaysia is he asked the assistant to do a block and attack in the same way to the left and to the right that we didn't have in the pattern he created before. This was one of the big difference that I can see. Thank you. Well, about the heroes of the Korean history, I'm not good enough to talk about this. For sure, Grandmaster Vitali in his speech can talk much better than me about history of Korea. But I would like to say something about the modern history of Korea and the modern hero of Korea. I don't have doubt that General Choi is one of the best hero of Korea in the modern time. When you refer to the heroes in London, in Belgium, in Germany, in Argentina, in Uruguay, probably the citizens know very well, but not the entire world know about the hero of your own country. So what General Choi did, General Choi showed through the pattern the history of Korea, the main hero of Korea, and everybody, millions of people around the world, every day showed Dangun, Tege, Hwanghae, Sosang, millions of people in all the continent every day. No one did it. So for me, both North Korea and South Korea forgot what General Choi mean for the Korean history. Of course, in my opinion, both North Korea and South Korea together with the employees of both parts had to build a monument in the parallel 38 in honor to General Choi. Of course, this is personal and this is my opinion. Well, about the Kwanes, the original Kwanes, all the original Kwanes born in Korea in about 1944 to 1946. The original one, like Yunmo Kwan, Fundo Kwan, Muno Kwan, Sanmo Kwan. But all of them had a very much influenced by Shotokan karate. and General Choi complained a lot about that. One of the reasons that General Choi didn't teach Taekwondo when he back to Korea is not teach Shotokan Karate. Is what he learned with the founder of Shotokan Karate, Funakoshi. So that means that's why he created Odo Kwan in 1955. This is a part of my way, the meaning. And start to put there only Taekwondo. Start to put there Guaran, start to put there Chunmu, Uji, and taking out all the influence of karate that the other Kwan had. Well, about the pioneer who impressed me more, I knew several, but some of them impressed more than others. One was the pioneer J.C. Kim. I met him for the first time in 1979. He was in Buenos Aires. He took me the examination to 4th degree. Then he came again to Argentina a couple of times, but I had the chance also to travel to Canada, to Vancouver. I remember that I was living in his home and went to the gym, and he had a very, very good knowledge about the Taekwondo technique. The other one, pioneer, was Sika Choi. Sika Choi, you remember that he designed for General Choi a Gebek tool, and also he designed the tree in the back. Regardless his flexibility and his ability, when you see him perform pattern and combine the flexibility, the power, the rhythm, the beauty, was amazing to see him how to perform. I never saw another one to perform a pattern like he did it in the past. And of course, Grandmaster Park Chun-Soo. Grandmaster Park Chun-Soo, I visited him a few times, 3 or 4 times, in Toronto. I remember that in the way to visit General Choi, I stopped with my flight in Toronto, because from Toronto to Mississauga is about 30-40 minutes taxi. And I went to visit several times to Grandmaster Park Chun-Soo in the headquarters, was in the John Street 770 in the 3rd floor. He have several schools in Toronto, but John Street was the main one. His ability was great, also like a person, the approach as a person is very nice, of course, and the history he have in Taekwondo to develop in different parts of the world, the history talk by himself. He was one of the best pioneers, the ITF Cup. About my favorite pattern, well, normally I like the good pattern. It's part of my everyday training in Taekwondo. It's like a warm-up for me. I feel comfortable, always practice the basic technique. The feeling that I feel when I practice the good pattern is totally different than the feeling I have with another pattern. Regarding to black belt pattern, of course, it depends the age. When you are young and you have flexibility, maybe you like Mumu or you like Shuche. Personally, I enjoy a lot doing Yusin and Sosam as part also of my daily training. There are 140 movements between two, but they are very rich in technique. You can practice different technique, different motion. You can change the rhythm every time. For me and for my body, I like to practice both of them. Of course, I training all the pattern during the week, but the good pattern is something that I do in my every day in my warm-up session. About my memories with General Choi. Well, there are a lot of memory. Not only because he came many times to Argentina. I was organized about 10, 11 IAC with him here. But also we traveled a lot to South America. After Argentina, we traveled together to Paraguay or to Uruguay or to Brazil or Central America. So we had a chance to share between the IAC a lot. And of course, I traveled since 1980 about 10, 12 times to his home to learn from him there. I remember he had a basement, and we practice there. But one of the memory that maybe remain for the next generation was between the IAC 184 and 185. One was in Buenos Aires, one was in Argentina. General Choi did it 187 IAC. But after Paraguay was another one in Jamaica, and the last one, the 1987, was in Colorado. But in that moment he was very sick. Maybe you saw the video, he did the IAC for the first time with the wheelchair. And in our travel, many things happened. He knew already that he was sick, and for 1 week we have a lot of time to talk with him, and we asked about the future of the IAC, what he's seen that we have to do it. If Taekwondo have to evolve or have to remain. And the answer was very, very clear. He told no, let the Taekwondo grow. If you don't let the Taekwondo grow in all the parts Taekwondo have, Taekwondo one day will die. Just keep the pattern. Just keep the pattern clean like I did it. Just keep the diagram. Just keep my idea about the pattern. Just keep the technique. With this, you keep me and you keep the martial art. And I never forget this word. And at this moment, I like to share with all of you. Well, what drove me to continue in Taekwondo in hard or good time in my life? Well, last month I had 57 years in Taekwondo, so I started when I was a teenager. And you have different stages. At the beginning, probably you like to defend yourself. Even when I started Taekwondo, I didn't know that was Taekwondo, because at this moment in the gym was written karate, and my instructor just arrived to Argentina, so he didn't speak Spanish. So I knew that I was practicing Taekwondo a few months later when when we start to teach our instructor some words in Spanish. So maybe when you feel that you can defend yourself, maybe you like the competition, and you spend quite a long time during the competition age. Maybe you like teach, and you spend time teaching Taekwondo. Maybe you like some position in your federation or International Taekwondo Federation. But all this stage is for a time, maybe for a year, maybe for 10 years. So after 57 years, if you still are in Taekwondo, it's because Taekwondo is natural for you, not for the position. You already have all the position. Just is natural part of my life. I wake up with Taekwondo, I go sleep with Taekwondo, and for me it's something that is totally natural. My advice, not only for the new generation, if not for the one who want to continue in Taekwondo, don't look for any goal. Just enjoy the path. Just enjoy the journey. You don't need to arrive to any place to enjoy Taekwondo. Just be happy every day with Taekwondo and protect the martial art. Protect the legacy of our founder. You can stay for a while in the sport path, but you can stay forever in Taekwondo as a martial art. So keep the martial art inside, enjoy the journey, enjoy every day. Don't look for any goals, just enjoy Taekwondo and keep the martial art. I would like to say thank you to ITF in 2002, nominate me to be chairman of the technical committee with the compromise to keep the legacy of our founder alive. I remember our first IAC in Cologne, in Germany, at the beginning of 2003. At this moment was with Grandmaster Boss and Grandmaster Trachtenberg. We stayed together for almost 10 years and was very hard at the beginning because in some way the people of the other master team that we came to replace to General Choi, and why us and not other. But they, in a couple of years, the master was not so many like now, understood that was only for the benefit of Taekwondo. All of us, the technical committee and the master, had to adjust some technique in the benefit of all ITF community. Was a hard work at the beginning, but we enjoyed it a lot. Then, of course, one part was also for a couple of years Grandmaster Clint Norman and Grandmaster Whaler, although was part of the IAC, but they have to remain in the board. So I mean, they had to quit. And in 2011, Grandmaster Lang started to be part of the technical committee, and he became my best friend in Taekwondo. We traveled together for over 100 countries around the world in the 5 continents, and still we are together doing that. And also Grandmaster Laker incorporated, and Grandmaster Paul Maffei, and then Grandmaster Jure Jedut, and the last one a couple of years ago was Master Virginia Dionisi. A lot of knowledge have all these Grandmaster, and our communication, of course, every week was with passion and knowledge and on benefit of our Taekwondo family. I would like to say thank you for all who helped the technical committee to keep the legacy of our founder.
Okay, so this was the first session, the first part that we have this in this session. You also the interview with Grandmaster Marano. In total, it was 10 questions that we collected in the last 2 and 3 weeks and brought to him, as he is at the moment traveling and is not sure if the internet connection would have worked. We asked him and he recorded it at his home, and we created this video. Just about the second to last question, I remember, or maybe the last question, I remember this IAC in Cologne in 2003. It was my first one. I just realized it was quite some time ago. Back then I was a red belt. Okay, if you have questions on other questions that you want to bring to Grandmaster Marano, just ask them in the chat and we will forward it to Grandmaster Marano in the through email or other ways. Maybe he will join later and can see and answer them by himself. For the second part of this session, we now have another interview. It's an interview between Master Hong Looi and Sbn Sabina Mason. Both of them are chairs of ITF standing committees. Master Hong Looi is a chair of the Athletes Committee, and Ms. Sabina Mason is a chair of the Medical and Anti-Doping Committee and is responsible for all the anti-doping efforts, the clean sports efforts, the concussion policy, or the implementation of the safeguarding of our competitors. I encourage you to follow this video as well. Just wanted to mention and advertise a little bit. The Medical and Anti-Doping Committee has a training session tomorrow and the day after. So if you are interested, you can still apply and join tomorrow in Spanish language and on Sunday, day after tomorrow, or in English language. So let's start with the interview of Master Looi and Ms. Mason.
Welcome everyone to this special event commemorating the 70th anniversary of ITF Taekwondo. It's a privilege to be here alongside Ms. Sabina Mason. And as we reflect on the contributions and the legacy of Do-san, which is the patriot An Chang-ho, whose life work focused on education and Koreans' independence, we're reminded again of our commitment to furthering the well-being of our athletes today.
So today's theme is Championing Athletes Well-Being, a collaborative approach to anti-doping and concussion awareness. So my name is Ms. Sabina Mason. I'm 6th degree black belt, and this is Master Hong Looi, 7th degree black belt.
Sabina, let's kick it off this interview with our personal stories. Sabina, can you share your journey as a Taekwondo athlete and the motivation behind your advocacy for athlete health as medical and anti-doping chairperson?
Sure. So I began my journey in Taekwondo at a young age, and my experiences as an athlete competing internationally at European and World Championships, reaching the podium on numerous occasions, both individually and as a team member. Also working in critical care really propelled me into this advocacy role. And I realized there is a gap in athlete support, particularly regarding health and safety.
Okay.
How about you, Hong? Could you share your journey of Taekwondo?
For myself, I have competed for quite a number of years. I remember my first championship, World Championships. It was back in 1999. The World Championship was actually in Buenos Aires, in Argentina. Quite overwhelming, actually. There was no video footage in preparation to this World Championships. Quite shocked at seeing so many people from all over the world, considering it's my first campaign. These days, you have coaches that come abroad, top coaches that come and teach, and then you have the ability as well to go to other countries to train seminars or camps to get better yourself. I worked very hard leading up to it, kind of without it. And now I just want to make sure that the athlete these days can have the best of everything so that the performance of each athlete are also at his or her best, much like yourself.
Yeah.
Sabina, what about you? Can you explain to me, explain to actually everybody what your role is as the chairperson of the ITF Medical and Anti-Doping Committee entails when it comes to ensuring athletes' health and wellness?
Sure. So in my role, I work to create governance documents, other medical documents, and really prioritizing the athlete's health, focusing on education regarding the anti-doping regulations and concussion awareness. And we want to thank as well Master Lear for the wonderful work, and Mr. Kirkley as well, previously, who have been working with the medical committee. And there has been some amazing work that has taken place to date. Okay. And really, we're hoping to look after the athletes' physical and mental well-being overall.
Okay.
So, Hong, as a chairperson for the ITF Athlethes Committee, could you share some of your insights?
The athlete committee serves as the voice of athletes within the ITF body. Is representing their interests and ensuring their needs are met and actually empowered. We focus on advocacy, support structures, including support system, promoting the health and well-being of athletes in the sport by way of promoting the athletes in the sport and ensuring the distribution, even the latest of the ITF events through social media.
So what specific initiatives or programs is the Athletes Committee currently implementing?
We are kind of working on creating mentorship programs for younger athletes, improving access to resources on mental health, facilitating open forums for athletes to voice their concerns and suggestions directly to ITF. We are also in constant communication and review with the technical, umpire, IT, yourself, the medical and anti-doping, as well as coaches committee chairpersons to ensure that the tournament rules are as up to date as possible.
Sure. We look forward to working with the Athletes Committee.
Let's delve deeper into anti-doping. How would you define anti-doping for our audience over here? And can you tell us when this initiative began within the ITF Taekwondo?
Absolutely. So really, anti-doping is about ensuring a level playing field by prohibiting the use of performance-enhancing substances. So the use of doping substances or methods to enhance performance is fundamentally wrong and is detrimental to the spirit of sport. So competing clean is the key principle of preserving the integrity of fairness of sport for the benefit of everybody. However, it also helps to protect your image and above all your health. So as a clean athlete, you can take pride in your performance. So, and as you know, Hong, the dream of many athletes is to compete at a world stage, either in a European or a world championships. And if we want to see fair competition in sport, we must protect the integrity of the sport competition at all levels in all countries. So this means we need a global anti-doping system where doping is defined and consistently understood across the world. And this is what we are currently trying to do at the moment. We are currently trying to really promote education and drive that globally.
Let's delve deeper into the anti-doping. How would you define anti-doping? And could you tell us when these initiatives began in Taekwondo?
Yeah, sure. So anti-doping ensures a level playing field by prohibiting the use of performance-enhancing substances. And the use of doping substances or methods to enhance performance is fundamentally wrong and it's detrimental to the spirit of sport. So competing clean is a key principle of preserving the integrity and the fairness of sport for the benefit of everybody. However, it also helps to protect your image and above all your health. So as a clean athlete, you can take pride in your performance. And as we know, Hong, like it's the dream of everybody to compete at an international world or European championships. And we really want to see fair competition in the sport. And we must protect the integrity of sport in our competition at all levels, in all countries.
Yeah.
So anti-doping, back to the question of when did it start? It initially started in 2013. And I was on the committee back in 2013.
Yeah.
Due to my studying and my work commitments, I stepped down and joined back in 2017. And I've been the chairperson of the ITF Medical Anti-Doping Committee since 2017.
Let's have another question for yourself. What are some of the common misconceptions that the athlete have about anti-doping rules, and how can we effectively address this?
Yeah, that's a really important question. So many athletes mistakenly think that all supplements are safe and that they won't get tested. So education is really key in dispelling these myths, and we offer resources to clarify these misconceptions. So to anybody listening, please do check Informed Sport. And this is where any vitamin or any supplement that is certified will be given a batch number, and it has been tested before it's been released on the market. This means that every flavor and every variation is tested.
Mm-hmm.
Post-certification includes regular blind testing, and where the products are purchased from the retail and again tested for further assurance.
Okay.
So it's really, really important to look at Informed Sport.
I have another question here. What educational initiatives are currently in place to inform the athletes about anti-doping regulations and their importance?
Well, first of all, we've had the privilege of presenting educational seminars during championships. And our committee has education plans for 2025. And our first medical and anti-doping seminar will actually take place next week,
okay,
which is on the 12th and the 13th of April. We will have it for Spanish speaking on the 12th of April and in English on the 13th of April. And there we will discuss awareness of head injuries, of concussion. We will also talk about anti-doping, what the process is like, what you should prepare yourself for when being tested, etc. And we are working with international bodies also at the moment in creating online resources to educate athletes and coaches and trainers about head injuries, anti-doping policies, and the implications of violations of doping.
Okay, let's shift the gears into the therapeutic use of exemptions. Can you actually explain what a TUE is and under what circumstances it might be necessary for the athletes?
Sure. So a TUE allows the athlete to legitimate medical conditions to use certain prohibited substances without facing any penalties. It supports those who require a medication for chronic conditions.
Okay. And what does the application process for a TUE look like? What advice would you give to athletes considering in applying?
Yeah, so the process involves submitting a detailed application form with the medical documentation. Now, this is done by an athlete's general practitioner.
Yeah.
And the athletes should ensure that they apply well in advance of competition and seek guidance if they're unsure about any aspects.
Yeah.
So in general, we ask to allow at least 30 days prior to your next competition in order to allow sufficient time for the TUE committee to make decisions on the application form. And if a permitted medication can be used to treat a medical condition, the prescribing doctor must provide clinical justifications on the TUE for the requested use of the prohibited medication.
And what challenges do the athlete often encounter during this TUE application process? And how do you think that they can overcome the potential stigma or misunderstanding?
Sure, yeah. So the stigma is a significant hurdle, but open communication with coaches and support systems can really help dispel the fears and also create a more understanding environment for those needing exemptions. And any questions, I would also recommend linking in with the Therapeutic Use of Exemption Committee, and the email is available on the ITF website.
Okay, let's turn to concussion awareness here. Why is it critical in Taekwondo, and now how can it impact on an athlete's career?
Absolutely, really important question. Well, concussion awareness is critical in Taekwondo due to the potential of head impact, which can lead to serious brain injuries. And recognizing signs and symptoms of a concussion is essential for ensuring the safety of the athletes, as an early intervention can reduce the risk of long-term neurological issues and improve recovery function. This is particularly important for the safety and the longevity of an athlete's career.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of what should an athletes, coaches, trainers, and umpires be trained to recognize as key signs and symptoms of a concussion, for example?
Yeah, great question. So as I said, we are going to have an education seminar next week, and we will go through it more in detail. But certain symptoms are common symptoms that include such as headache, dizziness, confusion, memory loss, and particular red flags there are as well, which we will go through during our educational session to be aware of. Education training in recognizing these signs is really, really crucial. And we always say that if concussion is suspected, an athlete should be removed from the ring immediately and evaluated by a healthcare professional trained in concussion management. It is important for athletes to return to competing or training when they are cleared by a medical professional.
Yeah, it's a tough one here, but how do physical health and mental well-being intersect for athletes, especially with the pressure of performance?
Yeah. Well, physical injuries often come with the mental health challenges, and we must provide holistic support in addressing both these aspects and ensuring that the well-being is met for all of our athletes. And that's particularly important in linking in with the Athletes Committee, because you are the advocates for the athletes, and you can help guide us in making sure that we are doing the right thing for the athletes.
Yeah. Okay, what kind of resources and support systems are available for athletes experiencing this type of health-related issues to their sport?
Great. So I would always say you can, first of all, I would always say to athletes to link in with your general practitioner, link in with your team management or your coach. We are always available via email, and again, our emails are available for the ITF Medical Anti-Doping on the website. And we're also working on creating support networks, including like mental health resources and peer support groups with the Athletes Committee, etc., to help athletes navigate these challenges. We are at an infancy stage at the moment, but and a lot of work is needed. But we are aware that we really need to tackle this aspect with other committees.
Well, as we look ahead into the future, what do you envision for athlete advocacy, particularly in relation to the anti-doping, TUEs, and concussion awareness?
Well, I believe we'll see greater emphasis on recovery following concussion, for example, and really focusing on people taking time out to recover following a head injury. Athlete support system is absolutely crucial, and more resources allocated will absolutely ensure that athletes understand and prioritize their health. Again, we are doing a rollout of education. We're really focusing in 2025 on education, and we hope to see some positive outcomes from that.
And lastly, how can athletes get more involved in initiatives and conversation about their health and safety in sports?
Well, athletes can, first of all, advocate for themselves by participating in discussions, engaging in committees, being active in promoting health initiatives within their clubs, within their community, and also within the national team. And I understand that the Athletes Committee are interested in having a stand at some championships. And this may be a pivotal time for athletes to have a voice and have a say. And that may feed very well into having a say in being tested, the vulnerability of being tested, or, you know, going to a championships and realizing you can't compete in the next round, or you can't compete in team events because you've had a head injury.
Yeah.
These are all really, really important, and providing that support, that well-being and health and well-being support for athletes is crucial for us. Thank you, Hong, for sharing your insights today. It's vital that we continue these conversations with the Athletes Committee about the athletes' health, and as we honour the spirit of DOSAM in our community. So here's to another 70 years of growth, health and advocacy in Taekwondo.
Thank you, Sabina. And have a great, happy 70th ITF anniversary from ourselves. Bye.
What a lovely interview. I learned so much, and I see the audience has similar feelings. There are more questions than we had in the last 6 hours combined, I think. That's really great. We have maybe a few minutes. I think Grandmaster Marano he's not here anymore. And Sabina is, yes, so Miss Sabina Mason is available. She answered already some questions in the chat. If you have an urgent question, please let me know. Raise your hand and we can unmute you, and maybe there's a way to communicate a few minutes. If not, please continue the communication and your exchange in the chat. We are not only here to listen, we are also here to learn and communicate a little bit. Well, given the ways that we are.